Excellent job. Excellent job. So today, here's the resource to help these bar chords get a little easier. As I said, if you can play the E major, and you can move that automatically to the E major with a second fingering, try and just scoot that up and then place down your first finger. That makes that bar. Remember, if that finger is sticking right in the middle and not going over the top or pointing up that way and our elbows floating or we're sitting up straight, these will become easier. So playing the major 7 chords today will make it easier for you, believe it or not. It's harder, therefore it makes the chords that are easier easy. Ta-da. If we play an A major or a D major or an E major or a G major or a C major or any of these, when we move them up and they're not open note chords like most of these are below the 5th fret, we would then use our secondary fingers to help. Case in point, here's our A major. When we play the A note, the E note, the C sharp, and the A, if we move back the A to a G sharp, we now have A, C sharp, and E plus the G sharp. That gives us very nice and open airy. A major 7, A dominant 7, or A7. So what I'd like you to do is try and go A, A7, B flat 7, A7. Or do it the other way around. A, B flat 7, A7. Either way, what you're doing is you're forcing your hand to keep that bar and then make your new shape, a 7 chord. Or play it flat and then turn it into that. It's also a great mechanism, right? Feels a little weird in the beginning, but we'll work at it. Same thing happens with, let's say, our D major. When we play a D major and then we play it in a secondary fingering, if I wanted to scoot that up in bar, yeah, it's a weird chord, but if you work on that, you get really good at it. The chord we would have after a D major would be a D major 7, then a D dominant 7. So try those. D major, D dominant 7, D dominant 7, D sharp dominant 7, E dominant. And when it keeps going up, what you'll notice is it's much easier to perform these bar chords. Cool. The other thing I wanted to get you on going today is this idea of the Led Zeppelin tune. G major, if you don't like the idea of taking this G note and this G note, G, G, F sharp, G, E, G, D, G, we could work this down. This becomes that. It's a great introduction to fingerstyle. That's what it looks like when you get all the mechanisms over here. But for the beginning, we could just do our G note, and then Pinky is going to play that F sharp. G, F sharp, G, E, G, D, G, C, G, D. You could go through the whole thing, but it's just going to take G, F sharp, E, D, G, F sharp, E, D, and then play a big old D major. B sus 4, D major, D sus 2. That's pretty much the whole thing. We'll talk about next week how the B minor is also in there. We've got a G and eventually an A, but most of these, when they goes through it, has something fun. That little change that you saw me do goes to a C, G, D, C, G, D. That's it. That's the whole tune. So I'll give another video which explains how to do this in its entirety. However, it's a fun song to get into because there's multiple parts in it, and that'll open up our ideas for seeing what different types of music forms are. Good seeing you today. Aloha.